We are Nerd Cult Online, and this is the Bridge Curse 2, the Extrication.
This film depicts a murder that took place in Wenhua University's Da Ren building in 1960.
I've got to get out of here.
You are mine. 需要一 需要一
Even if I die, I'll never get away from you. How is this possible? No!
This building traps the souls of all who die here. We will be together forever.
The Hex building.
So that creepy little intro kind of trailer thing was a film that some students basically put together. Now, my understanding is that ghostly hand in the elevator was not meant to be part of the actual footage. And so your role is an investigator in this game where you're meant to actually go and basically try to prove that those ghosts are real. And so right off the bat, one of the things that the game does really well is just the overall sense of environment, the audio, the fact that they have audio plays such a huge part of it, where like if you're walking quickly and making louder footsteps, or you bump into something like a chair and make it roll out of your way as you're trying to move around different rooms and stuff, those things make noise in real life, and that type of thing will alert your foes, or the ghosts in this case, or the security staff of the building, and their use of it is just downright brilliant. I actually can't think of any game I've played that does audio as well as this did. Visually, the graphics are actually rather decent for an indie title. Much better than I was expecting when I first read about the game. And the overall game mechanics actually work really well with the game too. I was actually quite surprised. Again, it's not what you expect from most indie games. Like a great example of that audio is right here with this bike. I mean, it basically tells you to actually trigger it. It makes the sound, which then actually alerts the security guard. Now, I'm curious, I haven't gone back to replay it to see if you can ignore that instruction. But I suspect that you'll probably either way still trigger the security guard right here. Just by your footfall or something like that. Maybe accidentally kick a rock or something of that effect. That way you still trigger the event. But, I mean, you're going into this building, you're supposed to be quiet. Ringing the bell on a bike is a pretty stupid mistake. Like, why would you be possessed to do that? I'm basically, in real life you wouldn't, but as part of the intro to a video game that's basically telling you how to interact with the environment, it makes a lot of sense to do it. So that definitely was a mean little trick there. But the use of the cat then basically luring the guard away, I thought was brilliant. And the animation of it, I mean, it moved like a real cat. They did a great job on those animations.
So difficult.
Like overall, I'm quite pleased with this game. Some of the subtitle stuff, being in a different language, definitely makes for a little more difficult reading at times when you see some of it. But obviously, stuff like when you're seeing those credits, it's not something that's actually critical for you to watch or understand. It's really more just names of the people in that cast. The phone setup here, I thought was actually pretty intuitive as well. And overall, I just thought this was actually a very well-designed game. And again, the use of the sounds in the environment and your movements and stuff, using that to trigger the guards and things like that, honestly was brilliantly done. These guys made a fantastic game in terms of those mechanics, and the graphics for it being an indie title as well, far again far exceed my expectations and that of most other game designers that are out there that do games of this caliber. You typically expect them to be part of larger studios, and for these guys to do it at this level is definitely impressive. And this scene right here, I thought was actually particularly well done. I mean, with the chairs and all the different things in the environment to try to avoid, it actually made traversing it very difficult and trying to avoid eye contact or basically line of sight for that guard, and then going to try and distract him so you can get around. And it made for a great introduction to the story and the challenge. Like there, I even bumped the rocking horse a little bit, which did alert him. It actually gave me an achievement. I don't remember which one for that part, but I think it was just a delayed one, because if I remember right, it's the one for actually turning on the TV to distract him. But again, overall, I thought they actually made a superb game. Again, it far exceeded my expectations.